So you currently have the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra and you see countless videos of the S25 Ultra. This is a 2-year gap. Usually around this time, people will upgrade their phones, but is it worth the upgrade? Now, first and foremost, I want to be transparent with you guys. Samsung did send this out for me to check out early, but this video is not sponsored. I just want to clarify that with you guys, and major shout out to Samsung for inviting me to Samsung Unpacked. It was a magical experience. But anyway, looking at these two devices side by side, a lot can happen in just 2 years. I mean, look at these two devices side by side. You have the S23 Ultra with a stainless steel design. You can see on the corners, you have that slight curved display. And a lot of people didn't really like this just due to the accidental presses, but I never had that issue at all. And I gotta tell you, this looks good even to this day. The curved corners give it a more futuristic look. And of course, comparing it to the S25 Ultra, going away with its stainless steel frames and onto titanium, you have straight edges with its rounded corners on the side. And I gotta say, this definitely feels better in the hand. It feels more premium and you're not gonna have those accidental presses opposed to the S23. And I gotta say, it really do feel good in the hand. That titanium finish is lighter, it's thinner, it's just better in every way. And just to have some numbers going on, I'm going to put the S23 Ultra on a scale. So the S23 Ultra is coming in at 232 grams, while the S25 Ultra is coming in at 218 grams. And you're definitely going to feel the lightness of this phone and even the thinness too. The S25 Ultra is coming in at 8.2 millimeters, while the S23 Ultra is coming in at 8.9 millimeters. So it's probably going to be a little tough to see on camera, but yes, the S25 is thinner. And taking a look at the displays, both devices look absolutely gorgeous, especially in different angles. But the S23 Ultra is coming in at 6.8 inches, while the S25 Ultra has a larger 6.9 inch display. And that is thanks to its thinner frame. So if I bring it up a little closer, you can definitely see the bezels are significantly reduced. I think it's reduced by 15%, and you're definitely going to notice that right away. In my opinion, I definitely do notice it. Now, both devices are still pretty thin in terms of the borders, but it's thinner on the S25 Ultra. Now, of course, both devices feature that AMOLED display, which is going to look incredible. Colors are going to look vibrant. You're going to have inky blacks. It's going to be amazing for watching movies, YouTube videos, whatever the case may be. Now, in terms of nits of brightness, the S23 Ultra comes in at 1,274 nits of screen brightness, while the S25 Ultra comes in a whopping 2,600 nits of screen brightness. And it doesn't even stop there. It also has an anti-reflective coating, which is going to be fantastic, excellent for outdoor viewing, while the S23 Ultra doesn't have an anti-reflective coating. You could kind of see it too on this video. Like, look at my studio lights. So it does a good job, kind of mitigates those glares opposed to the S23 Ultra. So imagine that the sunlight is going to be a little bit more more pronounced, but just looking at the studio lights here, you can see how much of a good job the S25 Ultra reduce those glares. So using your phone outside, the S25 Ultra is going to be a day and night difference. You're going to love it thanks to its brighter display, that anti-reflective coating. That's going to make a world of difference. And it doesn't even stop there. You also have the Gorilla Armor 2 on the S25 Ultra, opposed to Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on the S23 Ultra. So more durable screen. The display and the design alone, in my opinion, makes it worth upgrading. If you look at the back of the S25 Ultra, comparing it to the S23 Ultra, the camera modules do look a little bit thicker. So just keep that in mind. And that's important because if you lay your phone with no case, you're probably going to get a little bit more wobble. So it's going to be slightly more wobble. Chances of you're probably going to have a case on these phones anyway, but just keep that in mind. And we're going to talk about the cameras in a little bit too, which, spoiler alert, is actually pretty good. Now time to talk about the specs. The S23 Ultra features the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, which is 2 generations older. So you're going to get about 4 years of software support. So up until Android 17 in 2027. So that's still pretty decent too. So you're not going to be left out the loop with some of the AI features, which we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So yeah, so you're still gonna get updates on this, but just keep in mind you basically only get in 2 years now because we in 2025 and 2027 is another 2 years from now. Comparing that to the S25 Ultra, you have the fastest Qualcomm Snapdragon chip. This is the Snapdragon 8 Elite. This is the first 3nm chip. Now, in terms of the S25 Ultra, you have the latest and greatest from Qualcomm, the fastest chip, the Snapdragon 8 Elite. This is the first 3nm chip. And what that means in English, basically it's going to be more faster, it's going to be more efficient, and it's just a better chip overall. And on top of that, Qualcomm and Samsung partnered together to deliver Snapdragon for future Galaxy devices. And this is a big win for the consumer because you're going to get more of a premium experience. It's going to be more efficient. It's a big deal, and I don't think enough people are talking about it, but that's a huge win on Samsung's part. And that's going to equal out to longer software support coming in at 7 years. 7 years of software updates. That is incredible. The S23 Ultra has Wi-Fi 6E, while the S25 Ultra has Wi-Fi 7, the latest and greatest Wi-Fi technology. In terms of the RAM, the S23 Ultra has 8 gigs of RAM on the 256GB model, but 12 gigabytes of RAM on the 0.5 terabyte or 1 terabyte model. With the S25 Ultra, going away with that, you have 12 gigabytes of RAM no matter what storage capacity you go with. So 256, 512, 1 terabyte, you're still going to have 12 gigabytes of RAM. Now, both devices have a 5,000 milliamp battery, but the S25 Ultra is going to have a better battery thanks to the efficiency of the Snapdragon 8 Elite. Charging speeds, you're getting 45 watt of wired charging on both devices, but the S25 Ultra is getting 24 watts of wireless charging. That is thanks to Qi 2, while the S23 Ultra has a 15 watts of wireless charging. And fun fact, the S25 Ultra is the first phone to support Qi 2 24 watts of fast wireless charging. So I may have to do a charge test on this. If you guys want to see a video on that, let me know in the comments. But now also to specify, this is Android 15 on the S25 Ultra, while Android 14 is on the S23 Ultra. And the time of this recording, this is featuring One UI 7, while you have One UI 6 on the S23 Ultra. We're going to quit out all apps. Well, we got to launch that up again now. And we're going to do this at the same exact time. So 3, 2, 1. And they are off. So you guys can see, I think nowadays now with smartphones, performance basically plateau. I mean, both these phones are going to be pretty fast. All right, so the S25 Ultra is going to finish up soon, while the S23 Ultra is still taking its time. All right, so there's the score for the S25 Ultra. And finally, S23 Ultra completed. And yeah, definitely you're going to get some gains here. So that's the score. I actually want to do a little bit more testing here. So let's open up some apps. All right, so let's open up YouTube in 3, 2, 1. And okay, there you guys have it. It's about the same, almost, very slightly faster on the S25 Ultra. But let's open up Instagram. 3, 2, 1. Instagram is ready to go on the S25 Ultra, but literally right after we have the S23 Ultra. Let's open up Twitter in 3, 2, 1. Ready to go. You can see right behind it, the S23 is right there. So Geekbench and all of that, it doesn't really matter. Wow, that's crazy. Forza Horizon 5 is really coming to the PS5 this spring. That's incredible. All right, let's open up the Galaxy Store. 3, 2, 1. Boom, ready to go. Now let's open up the camera. Why not? You know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna double press the side button twice to open up the camera. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, ready to go on the S25. Shortly after on the S23. Of course, taking pictures, exactly the same. Let's open up Google Chrome in 3, 2, 1. About the same. They both fast, both pretty fast, but for the most part, it is going to be faster. And really and truly, you're buying this phone essentially for the cameras. Now, I think that's a good segue because I did a little testing between both these devices and I noticed some things about the S23 Ultra. I would say The pictures are a little bit more punchier on the S23, while the S25 is gonna be a little bit more natural. Or even so, I mean, looking at them side by side, I'm gonna put a picture on screen. You guys be the judge between the two pictures. I'm gonna have you guys take a look at the pictures that I took. All right, this is a microphone test of the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. Let's zoom. This is the ultra wide right now. Let's zoom all the way. This is the furthest it can zoom. Of course, this is 4K at 30 frames per second. Unfortunately, you don't get that 100 times zoom when on video. Let's zoom into the clock right there. Pretty good, pretty good. S23 is not too shabby. Now this is the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. Let's do that zoom test. Zoom it in all the way to 20 times. Very similar to the S23 Ultra. And let's get into the clock right up there. And it's pretty clear, just like the S23 Ultra. And also, how's the microphone? Is it an improvement or is it the same? You guys be the judge. All right, you guys be the judge and decide which one. At first, I thought the S23 was a little bit more oversaturated, but then there's times where it just looks more neutral on the S25, but both take incredible pictures. You also have nighttime video improvements, reducing the noise, and it could shoot in 10-bit HDR compared to the S23. It doesn't have that. And you can also shoot in S-Log for the very first time on a Galaxy, which is pretty good. Videographers are gonna love that. And the zooms on the S23, you still have the 100 times zoom. This one here, you still have it, but it's just improved. But I did shot in S-Log, and you could be able to color grade it to your different LUTs and stuff. So it looks plain, it looks bland, but that's because you can be able to add in your very own LUTs, color correct your own videos, which is pretty good. Even going further with the video, you have something called audio eraser, which basically it means you can remove certain substance on the video. So what that means is if I tap on the AI video or the AI thing, the AI button, you could be able to reduce the music, you could reduce the crowd, or you could reduce the noise in general. Now, depending on the video, you can reduce the wind noise, reduce the crowd, reduce the cars driving by. So you could be able to pinpoint what you want to reduce on the video. Videographers are gonna love this one. And by the way, I actually do like this color. It's growing on me. This is that silver blue. So certain lights you see blue. And speaking of AI, that is the main reason on why I even upgraded to the S25 Ultra. AI was written all over that Unpack event, and you know, it doesn't disappoint. And I mean, AI is one of those things where you either love it or you hate it. And in this case, AI definitely makes things a lot more easier. This is the now bar. This is one of the AI features. So I could be able to play things. Essentially, look at this as the dynamic island on an iPhone. So you can have all your media controls here. You could tap on it, it brings it up. You could tap on it again to bring it down. And I gotta say, the One UI is silky smooth. Now, another AI feature you have now briefing. This is something that I need to use my device a little bit more. But now briefing is that little bar on the bottom yet again. So in this case, it's gonna be my now briefing in the afternoon. So if I tap on it, I could be able to, it could be able to AI generate all the things that usually I would want to know. So in this case, I have the weather and show you the temperature, show you the news. And the more times you use your device, this is going to be a little bit more, this is going to mature throughout time. The more times you use your device, that's something that you don't have on the S23 Ultra, although they could easily push it out with an update. Also, too, you have cross-app integration. All right, so let's say you're watching a YouTube video. You can ask about this video and add, you know what, we're going to talk to Gemini. Summarize this video and add it to my notes. So it's going to search up the video. Boom. It saved it as a note. it gives, like, look at this, man. It gives a summary of the video. And it also saves onto your notes. Cross-app integration is going to be a game changer. I'm calling it right now. You know, you have so many AI features on both these devices. This video will be long if I do that, but you just have a lot more AI features on the S25 Ultra and AI features on here. So I just type in Galaxy AI, and you can see side by side just a lot more AI features here. Like, this is something I'm going to have to make a separate video on. If you guys want to see a video on Galaxy AI, maybe compared to Apple Intelligence, let me know in the comments. But yeah, this is all the AI features that you're getting versus the S23 Ultra. I'm just going to have you guys read that. But yeah, it's just a lot more things you could do AI-wise on the S25 Ultra. And you know what? Since we're here, I was getting ready to download a game, but I want to do a download test, actually. I'm going to zoom this in a little bit so you guys can see. Okay, so let's press install at the same time. 3, 2, 1. And they are both off. So for the most part, download speeds are going to be faster on the S25 Ultra, but neck on neck, basically. 3, 2, 1. Okay. The S Pens are a little bit different this year. Samsung decided to remove the Bluetooth S Pen, so you're not going to have that functionality on the S25 Ultra, so you can't even do your air gestures or anything. And for instance, if I take out my S23 Ultra S Pen, so the Bluetooth S Pen, you could be able to do certain actions. So as you guys know, the Bluetooth S Pen, you could play pause media, so it's playing. I can increase the volume by just flicking up. So you guys see that? It is going up. Of course, the S25 Ultra doesn't have the Bluetooth S Pen. You have the S Pen, but it's not Bluetooth. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of sad to see that go. But other than that, it's still the S Pen that you know and love. And even if you take your S23 Ultra and put it on the S25 Ultra, it's not going to work. It's going to register, but the Bluetooth itself of the S Pen is just not going to work. So this is the S23 Ultra S Pen. I'm going to put it into the S25 Ultra. And first and foremost, it doesn't go all the way in. It's not even gonna slip out either, but it just doesn't go in properly. So I could still be able to use the pen, but you're not gonna be able to do any of the Bluetooth actions, which is pretty disappointing. If you never use the air gestures or the Bluetooth functionality of the S Pen, then this is not gonna matter to you. But if you use that Bluetooth S Pen, you may want to probably stick with the S23 for a little while until maybe Samsung can add it back in again. But for the most part, if I had to choose, if I had to upgrade, is it time to upgrade if you have the S23 Ultra? I would say yes. There's certain things that I love about the S25. The design factor, the titanium frame, the lighter design, the thinner design. I like it, but for the most part, that is where I'm going to end out this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, I appreciate it with a thumbs up. Make sure you guys comment down below if you have any questions or concerns. Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at Simplypops, and I hope you all have a simple day.